Hi, I'm Andreas, and in this video I will walk you through a part of the project's settings. You access the project settings by clicking up here and then project settings. I will walk you through the part that's called access, which contains roles, managers, and groups. And I'll start out with the simplest part, which is managers. And this is basically just where you create logins for your colleagues. So anyone who needs to log into the system and work in it can be created here. You click Add Manager, and then you just fill out name, email, prefixes, kind of like what it says before the emails they send. Password has to be a certain sort of quality of password, and then role and groups. And I'll get into those two soon when I look at the other two things. You can also delete managers and you can edit them. And you have one main administrator that you can't delete because otherwise you can never get into the system again. So obviously that one needs to stay there. So roles and groups. Roles are kind of the limitations you might or might not have on your access to the system. So we have two default roles called administrator and manager, and then we can make all the roles that we want. So the two default roles are like one of them gives access to the whole system. That means including project settings, and that would be the administrator. And then the manager only has access to like the normal system, this part of the system where you actually do the work. So that's basically the difference between administrators and managers. And then you can create any kind of new role. We can add a role and we can change the roles. And there you pick feature by feature what the role is allowed to do. And then when you create a manager or edit a manager, you can give them a certain role and they will have those limitations. The next thing is groups. So groups are created in here, and you can just always create a new group, and it's maybe called test group. Oh, we already have one like that, so we just create test 2 and we see it down here. Groups can be associated with managers as well as users. So when you create a manager, you can give them a limited access to certain groups, meaning that they can only see those groups. If you don't choose any groups, they can see all users in the system. And you can always, of course, edit the groups in here. So that seems relatively simple, but it actually enables you to do a lot of relatively complex stuff. So I will go back to the normal system a little bit and show you how the group function works. One of the main features of the group function is that you can go and sort the task list by group. So let's go on a user. We can just add a certain group to it. They're already in the test group. So if we filter the task list by the test group, we will see only that user. So this can be a way of dividing work between you and your colleagues. You can either do it where people manually filter the task list, or you can do it, as I showed before in the project settings, where certain managers, certain people who log into the system can only see users from a certain group. And that would also count in the user list. If they have the limited access, they can only see users from that group. The last thing to note is that in the flow that you build for a user or for a user type, you can also put in an automatic group assignment. So let's say you have a field in your sign-up form where you ask people what part of the country they're from. And then based on that country, you want to put them into certain groups, because then you can have local administrators who can only see people from that group. Then you can really have the flow and the group function and the sort of administrator setup play together really well and divide work in that way. So before I end the video, I'll just go in here and show you again that these are all the functionalities we have relating to creating managers, and it gives a lot of flexibility in terms of dividing work and having certain managers, certain people who log into the system who can do different things. Thank you for watching.